Hello everybody, welcome back. If you have not been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today is Series Sunday. Today's book is The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman. I managed to get this with a voucher that a friend gave me for Waterstones, and this version has bonus material in it, which was fun to get to. Yeah, so you've got this beautiful dust jacket, gotta love it, but then you take the dust jacket off. Look at that. Look at the box. And the green lettering, and then the best part. I've never owned a book which has details on this part before. I don't know how or why I've gotten through life with never having a book that has got printed edges, but I feel like I've missed out because I absolutely adore this. So let's read that blurb for you, which is on the inside cover of this. Let's read that for you. It's an ordinary Thursday and things should finally be returning to normal. Except trouble is never far away where the Thursday Murder Club is concerned. A decade-old cold case leads them to a local news legend and a murder with no body and no answers. Then a new foe pays Elizabeth a visit. Her mission? Kill or be killed. As the cold case turns red hot, Elizabeth wrestles with her conscience and a gun, while Joyce, Ron and Ibrahim chase down clues with help from old friends and new. But can the gang solve the mystery and save Elizabeth before the murderer strikes again? I love Richard Osman's stories with the Thursday Murder Club. There's such a unique way that these stories are told, with the narrative, and I'll admit, because obviously you see from lots of different point of views in the Thursday Murder Club stories, but it feels like Joyce is the narrator. Her chapters are done in diary form, so you get all the different points of view, even sometimes from the killer, but when it comes to Joyce, hers are done in the first person because it's a diary, so you feel like you're getting most of the story from her. But yeah, at the beginning of this book, Elizabeth and her partner Stephen are kidnapped, and they end up in Staffordshire, of all places, and I was just there going, oh, that's where I went to uni. They end up in Staffordshire, and basically there is somebody that Elizabeth has been told that she needs to kill. If you haven't read this series of books before, Elizabeth is a retired agent. So yeah, basically they're investigating a cold case of a murder that happened about 10 years ago of a reporter called Bethany Waits, and what's happened to other people since then. Basically you find out that there was some money laundering involved. You're not quite sure who's involved in that, but that's part of the mystery of it. So they're just finding out about what happened to Bethany and the knock-on effect it has for everything else. So it's done in the world of journalism and TV, and it's just fascinating. I love reading books that are kind of set in like the world of media. I find it completely fascinating. You have like Donna and Chris going on TV and talking about crime, and that really puts them in the heart of the investigation that the Thursday Murder Club are actually doing. And the Thursday Murder Club being the Thursday Murder Club, they could just have a way to be able to just talk to anybody and everybody with Elizabeth's help, because she's like the main force for the Thursday Murder Club. What I just find great is how this group of elderly people can just make people do things. It's just so great. When I finished this, because my mum actually read this and finished this before me, while I had the physical book, my mum read an ebook of it, and my mum was just like, oh, I read that book. I was like, have you? And she was like, yeah, I read it on my iPad. I was like, okay. And she was like, that's the one with the Viking. I was like, yes. So straight away I was just like, yep, she's definitely read the right one, because at first I thought she might be talking about one of the other books, but she definitely read the right one. So yeah, it's the Viking that kidnaps Elizabeth and Stephen at the beginning, and then she has to go and kill somebody who's essentially an old friend, Victor. And The Bullet That Missed, the title refers to kind of a couple of things actually as you go through the book. The first one is associated with the man that Elizabeth is supposed to kill. Just the way that it's written is so clever. I'm looking forward to the next one. At the end of this book, there is a page saying that there will definitely be another one with a QR code to go reserve the next one. And the bonus material is absolutely great, because while reading the book you find out that Joyce decided to try her hand at writing. Local newspaper is doing a competition, and so she decides to write a short story, and that short story is the bonus material of the book. It's great. And to be honest, that short story is really good. Of course it would be, because Richard Osman wrote it. But just the concept of Joyce's short story was just brilliant, and the working title where she's just like, I think that might be a spoiler. It's to do with like cannibals and things. It was just like, yeah, if it's a short story, and yeah, but I love the short story, I love the bonus content, it was brilliant. But yeah, it was my friend Jenny that gave me a Waterstones gift card for my birthday, or was it Christmas? This is what happens when birthday and Christmas are kind of close together. There's only a couple of months. Christmas, obviously, December, my birthday, beginning of Feb. Things overlap. So I thank you, Jenny, because it was with that gift card that I got this book. And yeah, I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. The way it's told is just brilliant. It's just so funny. I love the fact that with these books, they don't entirely be able to wrap it up. It kind of doesn't, it doesn't. Because there are things that you learn from other chapters, but then you realise that the Thursday Murder Club itself has not solved it all. So whereas the reader feels like they're a step ahead of the club, I literally finished reading this like 5 minutes ago. It's been beautiful weather, so I was sat in the garden reading it thinking, because I think I had like a quarter of it to go. And it's just like, I'm just going to sit in the garden and read it because it's beautiful. Managed to get a bit of colour, which is nice. Yeah, I'll admit the beginning of the book, even with the kidnapping and the fact that it all felt like very charged and stuff, there was something about the beginning that just felt a bit, I found it a bit harder to get through. I don't know why. But then once everything else started happening, that was when it kind of started to pick up the pace. Maybe just the beginning of it just felt a bit slower, but then it did really pick up the pace as you get further and further into it and you figure out everything. I feel like this gets like, it reaches like its like peak about halfway through when you really start to understand everybody who's involved. Because as well as investigating Bethany's disappearance and what happened to her, and the fact that there was a car that went over a cliff but they never found a body, and you're just there thinking, is she dead, is she alive, like, and then trying to figure out like how the money laundering fits all into that, and what Bethany was investigating when she went missing. And yeah, I feel like I can't say too much because so much of it is like twisty turny, and so if I said any more than that it would really be giving away the plot. But yeah, I love these books. I love the idea of them being a series of films or even a TV series, and just casting just British acting royalty in the parts of the Thursday Murder Club. I get the idea of people like Judi Dench and Maggie Smith and like maybe Tom Conti being in there. Just when you think of just like acting royalty, put a Redgrave in there, just you need those kind of people in this, and I can imagine it like that. Oh, it's so good. Like, who would I cast as Elizabeth and who would I cast as Joyce? Because I feel like those two are really like, obviously everybody is the heart of the Thursday Murder Club, but those are the main two, and I'm just like, who would be that partnership? And it's just like, I have in my mind Judi Dench and Maggie Smith together, but I don't know which way round they'd be. Because I thought they could both be badass, they could both be Elizabeth. But I really like the idea of Maggie Smith being Elizabeth and Judi Dench being Joyce, writing everything down and just along for the ride. But then again, it would work the other way around. Dream casting can be difficult when you've just got these ideas in your head. But yeah, I love it. It's so funny, it's so good. It really does keep you guessing. I'll admit, I've been reading this for a while because this has been my theatre book, the book that I take to the theatre with me when I'm on shift, so that if I'm on the outside, if I'm not inside the auditorium, I've got something to do while the show's on. And I have not been at the theatre in a while because it's been dark. Because we had shows finish, and now they're getting ready to put new shows in. That's what it's called. when the theatre is quiet, it's dark, because there's no shows on, it's dark. But yeah, this has been my theatre book, but I've done the last half of the book at home. The Bullet That Missed, with those beautiful printed edges, and then the end papers, and then the beautiful dust jacket. Because I was taking it to the theatre, I took the dust jacket off. I didn't want it to get destroyed in my bag, but now I can put it back rightly where it needs to be on the book. There we go. And then put it up in my wardrobe with the books that I am keeping. I will need to organise at some point when I get my own place. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Why do I keep being blinded by my own light? I can just see light with my eyes shut. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video. Thank you so much for watching my series Sunday, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye my lovelies.